At the house, at the residence.
You asked me to... Yes. Yeah, they're down at Dijon.
By the time the FBI got the information, he was gone.
The many waterways of Wilmington would provide escape routes few would notice. Agents maintained surveillance on Don Prince, hoping he would lead them to his brother. But catching up with the millionaire fugitive wasn't easy.
Bill Prince was harder to catch than the usual fugitive because he had virtually unlimited resources. Bill Prince and Don Prince were both successful businessmen. They had money, they had cars, they had boats, and they had airplanes. They had offshore contacts, and they moved around. And once Bill Prince was able to solicit his brother's help in hiding him, this caused it to be a more difficult fugitive case.
Soon the FBI learned Bill's brother Don was doing more than hiding him.
We also received information that Don Prince had contacted witnesses who had testified against Bill Prince, trying to get these witnesses to recant their testimony so that Bill Prince could get a new trial.
I'm an associate of Mr. Prince.
An intermediary for the Princes tried to get witness Fred Peachy Andrews to sign an affidavit swearing to new testimony.
Testimony at Mr. Prince's trial might be in your best.
But Andrews had no interest in changing his story.
I don't want to sign anything that has anything to do with any of you guys. You got that?
It really might be in your best interest. You need to take a look at this.
Yeah, I hear you.
His testimony would stand. But Don Prince convinced 20 other witnesses against his brother to sign the affidavits. Andrews was the holdout. By December 1994, Bill Prince had been gone from Atlanta, South Carolina for 4 months. Several times, his people had reached out to Peachy Andrews to get him to recant. Finally, on one chilly December night, someone tried to eliminate him.
Peachy informed the Florence County Sheriff's Office that someone had shot at him at his residence. This was a consequence, we suppose, of him testifying against Bill Prince. However, no one was ever captured, no arrest was ever made.
The FBI developed an informant close to Prince who was afraid to be seen talking to cops. So they slipped him the phone number to a dedicated answering machine at the field office, asking him to leave any tips he had on the machine. In August 1995, the informant called in.
Hey, I got a number for him. It's a pager. 423-555-2769.
The pager's billing address was a motel room in Knoxville, Tennessee. The Knoxville FBI office sent a surveillance team to the motel. After several hours, they spotted a man resembling Prince.
He had changed his appearance from the way that we knew Bill Prince. He was wearing a straw hat, he had a suntan, and he had on a casual shirt. And the agents realized that this was the fugitive, Bill Prince.
FBI, freeze!
He first said that he was not Bill Prince, but then once they started talking with him, he acknowledged the fact who he was, and they arrested him.
After a year on the run, Bill Prince was finally going to prison. But even prison would not stop his orders for violence. After 52-year-old millionaire fugitive Bill Prince was captured, he was sentenced to life for murder for hire at the Lee Correctional Institution in Bishopville, South Carolina. Bill Prince would not be eligible for parole until he was 72 years old. His brother Don often visited.
We gotta make some changes.
At the time, the convict was allowed unmonitored visits.
Turn things around. Okay.
Authorities had no idea what the two discussed, what they were planning.
I count on you. See you later.
They only knew that Bill Prince wanted out, and that his attempts to get a new trial had failed. Prince wasn't willing to give up. 2 months into his sentence, he began talking with a fellow inmate about revenge and murder. The inmate said he could orchestrate murders for hire through his contacts on the outside. Prince wanted 5 men killed. Fred Andrews, the main witness against him. Larry Marshall, his former co-defendant. Agent James Gamble, who helped put him away. An elderly man on whom he held life insurance. And even his own son, whom he thought was conspiring with Marshall to take over his fortunes. But Prince made a critical mistake.
Don't be in touch.
That inmate was an informant for the FBI. He worked for Special Agent Rob Weisenhofer of the FBI's Columbia, South Carolina field office.
Having informants in the prison system is almost as important as having them out on the street. It's paramount to have as much information coming out of the prison system as we can get, so it's important to maintain good contact inside. And they talk to the other inmates in the institution. A lot of times we'll find out what happens from talking to an inmate source.
The informant was scheduled for knee surgery, so the agent met him in the privacy of the infirmary. Weisenhofer was not surprised to hear Bill Prince had his brother's help in the murder-for-hire plots.
Bill Prince is willing to pay a hitman, and the payment would come through his brother, Don Prince.
The informant said the brothers wanted to start by killing Andrews.
We asked the prison informant to play along with Bill Prince because we needed to corroborate what he was telling us. We were concerned that Bill